What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Life's a Garden. Let's go on ahead and get this weekend kicked off the right way. Well, at the time of filming this, I will be kicking off the weekend, and at the time you're listening to this, we'll be kicking off a brand new work week. So I hope that you had a great weekend. And I hope that your work week goes by well. I hope it goes by easy. Don't want to say it goes by fast because I think that's a common misconception that we want we want to get to the weekend. You shouldn't be chasing the weekend. The weekends are great. But if you're wanting the week to fly by, you're basically wanting your life to fly by. And that's not a good way to think about it. Have other things that you're doing throughout the week that you can enjoy and have expectations towards and things that you look forward to besides work. It is one thing to enjoy your weekend, but don't live for the weekend as much as we enjoy them. Live for every day, even if they're work days and they suck. And trust me, they do suck sometimes. But enough about that. Let's go ahead and get into this brand new episode. What is it? Episode 145, baby. Let's hit it. Yeah! Episode 145. 45, the number of my favorite president. Just kidding. We'll get more into that in just a moment. But first things first, if you haven't yet, please like, share, subscribe. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whichever platforms you prefer. Helps it out. Share with your friends. Let's spread the word. Get the old podcast out there. And some housekeeping notes. Cutthroat, my band, will be playing April 20th, 4/20. That's a Thursday. So go on ahead and just call out of work the next day because you're getting litty as a titty anyway. So 4/20 at Andy's Bar and Lounge downtown. Show starts at 6. Doors open at 6, I should say. And goes till whenever. It is a 21 up show. We got Do Fish Make Noise opening up, and we got Axe and Ass from Helena joining us on that ticket as well. So free show, no cover charge. Just come in, enjoy, good time, tip the bartenders well. And it will be a hell of a time on 4/20, baby. We're already into April. Where has the year gone? You know, it's funny. It's funny because every time you think something like that, you're like, where the hell has the year gone? You know, if it's flying by. But in reality, it's not. Like, it doesn't feel like it. Yes, it does when you think about, it feels like we just had Christmas. But then you think about everything that's happened in between, and you're like, well, there actually has been quite a bit going on. We actually have experienced quite a bit just in this year alone. We've just gone past the first quarter of the year. We got 3 more to go. And so far, so good, in my opinion. As far as personally, it's been a good year. So far. It has plenty of room it has plenty of room to fluctuate, I should say. But we got good things planned, good things ahead. So hopefully it's just going to be the best year ever. And I think it very well could be. First quarter in the books, looking pretty good. Let's see, what else did I want to tell you guys to kick it off? Oh, I've been back on the health train to an extent. I've been getting back into the fitness side of things, eating better, not drinking as much. As I take a sip of my Coors Light, it's the weekend, okay? I can get away with it. But in all sincerity, there was a while I was going out, 3-4 times a week on weeknights, Wednesdays, Thursdays, things like that. And I've really cut back on that. And even when I have gone out on the weekends, I've been able to like keep it in check and not drink as much because I mean, first of all, I was just feeling like absolute shit all the time between eating fast food like nonstop. I'm not even joking. I was eating fast food for a solid like 2 weeks straight almost. Every day it seemed like. Whether it was Pizza Hut or fucking McDonald's or whatever it was. I was going hard in the paint on the fast food. And then you add drinking to the mix like 3-4 times a week, maybe even more sometimes. You add not working out ever, and then just shitty sleep. Like, something that a lot of people don't really know is how important sleep is to your overall health. Sleep is the most important because that's when you recover. That's when you it's so important and it doesn't get talked about nearly enough. Drinking does not help you sleep. All the combination of things, the whole combination of things between the drinking and the food, man, just feeling bloated all the time. The whole fitness aspect of it and the whole like health conscious thing of it is never to me been about trying to look a certain way. It's always been about trying to feel a certain way. And feeling like shit all the time is, as much as you might be surprised by this, not ideal. And this might be a little bit too much. This might be a little TMI for you. But, oh my God. I was farting not just uncontrollably, but to the point that I couldn't even be around people. It was so grotesque and vile. It was literally my guts were rotting out and my ass was letting me know about it. When I'm laying in bed and I can't control the amount of gas escaping my butthole, and you know how, typically they say you're a fan of your own brand. When you become not a fan of your own brand and you're gagging at your own stench, you know something's going on. You know it's time to make a change. Now, I understand that's pretty disgusting and that's too much information, but I'm a truth teller and I'm here to bear all for you. I was stinking up the place. I couldn't even stand to be around my own self because my guts were rotting. And so when that starts happening, it's time to make a change. So for the last 2 weeks, I've been working out. I've been eating a little bit better. Definitely no fast food. I've been off the fast food, but been making a lot of food here. Now, it's not always been the best food, but homemade food nonetheless. Less processed at least. So, and been sleeping great. So, overall, feeling a lot better than I was the last like month before this. Just wanted to bring that up and talk about that because health is wealth. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I know like the reasons when I feel shitty. I know why I feel like shit. And I know what's going to get me back to feeling better. It's just a matter of getting in the mindset and pushing forward and doing it and actually committing to doing it. We all fall off, we can't be perfect all the time. We're human. We have flaws and it's okay. It's okay to fall off the horse sometimes. It's okay to, not always be perfect or not always have the push to achieve. The difference is when you can get back on track. That's the main thing. It's not okay to stay in that bad habit. It's not okay to perpetually be in that negative cycle and know that you're in a negative cycle. It's one thing to be in a negative cycle and like be unaware of it, whatever you may attribute that to. But when you're aware of you're in a bad cycle, but you're not willing to change, that's not good. It's okay, though, to fall on hard times and to fall into a hard headspace or into a bad habit from time to time. It's the matter of fixing it and getting back on track that is the priority. And that is what makes that's what makes us human. We fall off from time to time, but getting back on track, that's where you need to keep in mind and to understand. So, I don't want to start this podcast off on a big downer because obviously that's not necessarily what we like to do here on the show. That's not exactly the deal, but from time to time we got to talk about the not so positive things in life. I want to talk about this Nashville shooting, okay? First of all, was just in Nashville a couple months ago. So, not to say that it hits home or anything like that, but it was a place I was just at. As far as the details of this, again, here we go again, just another senseless school shooting. And I guess, I don't know if it's just me, but it somewhat seems a bit more tragic, or it seems a bit more, I don't know, it's always tragic, so it's not more tragic. It seems more heinous and more vile when it's an adult going into not only a school, but an elementary school and taking the lives of children, not teenagers. Now, that's just as bad, but these are children. Thank God this fucking monster was not able to take more lives. First things first, I want to send a huge, kudos to the police officers involved. I watched that body cam footage. First of all, it's very eerie how similar to like a video game it looks. Like the first person view where they're like tracking and they got the gun and whatnot. Very eerie to how similar to a video game it looks. But from start to finish, the second that officer arrived, they said by the time the gunman entered the building to the time she died was like 14 minutes. That's pretty fucking fast. Now, was it El Paso? That Texas police force could take some fucking notes on this. The second that officer arrived, they were like, go, go, go. Get the fuck in that building and save some lives. And dude, they were, from the time they entered the building to the time they gunned her down, must have been like 5 minutes, if that. Not even that. Maybe 4 or 3 minutes. It was quick. So they truly saved some lives, and thank God for them. So very thankful to them, and they deserve some praise for their actions, putting themselves in harm's way to save others. Now back to the whole deal in of itself. I do think there's something inherently more vile to it being an adult walking into a school, whether it's a high school or middle school or elementary school, whatever. Somebody who's not even going to that school, because it almost raises a bigger, it's just like, why? At least when it's a student going to that school, still there's no, obviously there's no precedent for it, or there's no excuses. But at least you can kind of understand where, like, the Columbine kids were fucking bullied and they had a grudge against students and faculty and things like that. Like I said, doesn't excuse them for doing so, but at least kind of explains it. That motherfucker from in Sandy Hook, absolutely zero fucking rhyme or reason for doing so. Just to be evil. It's just pure evil. Now they said that this chick, first of all, I do want to mention that it was a woman that did this, which I believe is the first woman to ever commit a mass shooting, from my understanding, at least in modern times. So score one for equality. Am I right, ladies? Then it comes out I don't know her proper pronouns, and I'm not even going to say this bitch's name. But apparently she was identified as transgender. Now does that mean she was a woman transitioning into a man? Or does that mean she was a man that had transitioned into a woman? Now, by y'all's rules, a transgender woman is a woman. So you get to keep that one. All right? You get to keep that one in your bag, because I'm going to get into that later, okay? I'm going to get into that whole situation later. They said that she had some connection to the school. She had gone to this school. So perhaps there was some kind of a grudge against faculty or something like that. But that doesn't excuse executing 9-year-old children. These kids were 9 years old. When I think about that, it's like, I'm almost 30. I'm 29. So I've literally been on this earth 20 years longer than those kids will ever get to live. 9, you haven't gotten to experience anything. And they never will. Because this person decided that, like, they put it in their own hands to take these children's lives. And then you got the adults too, who senselessly were killed. They didn't deserve any of this. Nobody does. In any of these cases, okay? In any of these senseless killings. Nobody deserves any of it. Now, I am going to put on I'm not even going to call it a conspiracy theory hat, because at this point, it's so blatantly obvious that I don't know that you can even call it a conspiracy theory, okay? The mainstream media, they're talking about this event, but they're very much steering clear of the fact that this was a woman that committed this act. Much like the grocery store shooter in Colorado, in Denver, who shot up the King Super a while back. You wouldn't know who he is, but he happened to be a Middle Eastern fella. But because they don't fit the narrative of white male, their face isn't being plastered all over every mainstream media. Now the media wants to run with the whole, don't give the killer the praise, don't give them the limelight, don't spotlight them. Now they want to run with that narrative, even though we've been saying that, we as the public have been saying that for years. Don't put their faces out there. Don't make them famous for their crimes. Because then first of all, you're going to charge all these other would-be killers and you're going to give them motivation to want to go do the same thing. Because they have nothing to live for or whatever, and they want to make a name or they want to be famous in some fucking way, whatever it is. First of all, you do that. You vilify these, or you make them famous for being evil, essentially. And that's what all these fucking serial killer documentaries do, too. But anyway, now they want to run with that narrative. But let's go back. You look at the Columbine kids. You look at the Aurora shooter. You look at the Sandy Hook guy. You look at the fucking Vegas shooter. Everybody knows their names by heart. Everybody can see their faces bored into their skull because we had to see image after image of these guys. You want to tell me that that's not some kind of a fucking, like, agenda? It's like, look at this bad white man. Bad white man. But then you got this chick over here, 28-year-old gal, goes in, kills 3 9-year-olds, 3 and 3 others, but you ain't gonna fucking show her face. You're not gonna talk about her. I read an article today that was trying to explain. It was literally trying to like figure out why she may have done this. Like, what was the purpose? Oh, because of this. Maybe it was because she was transgender. Like, they're trying to give excuses as to why she may have gone nuts. My computer's making some loud noises. Anyway, I thought something crazy. I thought it was going to blow up. So, I lost my train of thought. I was on a heater too. They're not going to show this chick's face because it doesn't go with the narrative. Oh, and they're trying to make excuses for why she may have gone off the deep end. And when it came to the other freaks, it was just because they were psycho fucking mad at the world, whatever it may be, you know? They didn't give a fuck why they did it. It was more like, you're a monster and you should be condemned. Now here's the bottom line, okay? And I could run with that same narrative of, oh, she was a woman, or oh, she was transgender, or, you know, anybody else who commits mass violence, whatever they may be, whether they're here. The bottom line is, it doesn't fucking matter what they were, who they were, what gender, what sexuality, what color. It doesn't matter, because the bottom line is evil, and monsters are monsters. There is no code to being a there's no set criteria to being a monster. You just are. You either are one or you're not. And there's no excuse. There's no reason to try and figure out why she may have done this, or why any of the others tried to do this. The bottom line is, they were monsters, and they deserve the death they got. I don't care if they were a nice person at one point in their life. They became a monster. And when you're a monster, you're a monster. That's the bottom line. When you execute children, see you in fucking hell. Because that's the only place you get to go. There is no second chance for you. And I don't give a fuck what anybody says. How nice you may have been, or oh, they had a mental break. See, and that's okay. Here's the thing too. I'm not going to sit here and talk about the gun control thing, okay? I'm not going to talk about it because it's pointless. It's a pointless conversation. Here's a funny thought for you, okay? So, in Nashville, there was a giant protest group that stormed now, stop me if you heard this one before. Stop me if you've heard this at some point. A protest group stormed the Nashville Capitol while they were in session to try and, you know, the whole point was to lobby for gun control, or to protest gun control. They entered the building. They entered the chambers where the legislators were in session trying to deliberate such, like, whatever it was. You think anybody was arrested? I mean, I can't sit here and say they weren't, okay, because I don't know that for a fact. But they're not making the same stink that they did January 6th. Now, I understand January 6th may have been a little bit more excessive because it was, in fact, the nation's capital. But to bombard any Capitol building, any federal building whatsoever, with a mob of people, that's an act of terrorism. No matter how you slice it. I don't care if you're on the right, if you're on the left, it's an act of terrorism. But it's not being talked about to the degree of January 6th. Like I said, I understand the gravity of the January 6th thing as far as it being at the nation's capital, but still, it's just one of those. It's one of those things where it doesn't fit the narrative because their cause was righteous, right? In the eyes of the mainstream media, their cause was righteous, where the January 6th thing was not. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about the gun control thing because, like I said, it's a pointless conversation to have. There are more guns in this country than there are people. If you take the guns away, you are only taking them away from the good people, from the responsible gun owners. Because you think the criminals are just going to give them up? Hey, you know what else is illegal? Schedule 1 drugs. You know what criminals have a pretty good time of getting their hands on? Schedule 1 drugs. Meth isn't legal. Meth is it's everywhere. People can fucking print guns now. So the idea that criminals are just not going to have guns anymore is absolutely ludicrous. Like, don't even try to come at me with that. So it's a fruitless conversation to even talk about the gun control thing. The thing of it is, it's mental health. We need to put more into mental health and figuring out why people are going nutso. It doesn't take a gun to cause mass murder, okay? People could cause murder with knives. This whole gun control thing, too, is about assault weapons. So you're saying pistols are fine? You could load up with fucking 6 pistols that have 24 rounds each. You can cause a lot of fucking trouble with those. It's still gonna hurt. It's still gonna fuck people up. That dude that ran through the parade with his car, killed a bunch of people with his fucking car. A car is a deadly weapon. We're gonna take everybody's fucking cars away? You're not solving the problem. You put a gun down, the gun ain't gonna do nothing until somebody with a fucked up brain picks it up. The weapon is not always the object. The person wielding the weapon is the danger. It's not the weapon itself. Because you have to operate that weapon. So we got to figure out the people who are operating them and get that shit figured out. And so yeah, there's the mental health thing needs to be figured out. President Biden goes out, he's talking about how condemning the actions of this and saying how horrible it was. Absolutely. Motherfucker signed how many bills to send billions of dollars to Ukraine to fight a proxy war with Russia. If you would have allocated that same amount of money to the public school system, not only would they have been able to better equip the schools from getting broken into, you could have armed guards at every school. Now, I'm not even talking about arming teachers. I'm talking about you could have armed guards, armed police, armed whoever, like trusted people at every fucking school. So the second somebody with a gun hit that school, they're being taken down. Now, here's the other thing. These police officers are being praised. How the fuck do you think they took out this monster? Shot her in the fucking head. They had guns too. Now, I understand you're going to say police should only have guns. Well, now you're living in a military state. So, there's no winning in this. There's no real right answer. Because every right answer comes with some kind of downfall. Some kind of... And trust me, I'm not going to be that guy either that's like, well, you can't take my guns away because you're infringing on my rights. I don't even fucking own a gun. I should, but I don't. So I'm not going to be that guy either. I'm not sitting here trying to tout like, you're not taking my guns away. That's my right. It's our Second Amendment right. I'm not that guy. I'm not sitting here saying that I agree or disagree with that statement. I'm sure there's plenty to be talked about. There's plenty of conversation to be had. I don't have all the answers, and I don't know what the right way to do this is. Yes, something does need to change. We can't allow this to keep happening. Taking all the guns isn't the answer. I don't know how you figure out the mental health thing. I don't know. All I can say is rest in peace to those that tragically lost their lives. And we move forward. And we try to go on. Those families' lives are changed forever because of the actions of an absolute monster. And we cannot condemn, or we cannot condone the actions of these people because they're a certain way or whatever. And so, yeah. We're funding a war in another country. We got wars going on right here at home. Let's put that money toward that and get that shit figured out, huh? How about it? They don't give a fuck. They can all pretend like they care. They go out and make a fancy speech condemning the actions and talking about how guns are bad. Then they go send more guns off to another country to fight their proxy war. You think they give a fuck? No. It's all about the almighty dollar and about the chess match with the world and who the superpower is and all that. Don't look past the facade that are these puppets and that try to tell you that they are so self-righteous. They're not. They have zero righteousness about them. Let's move on. I'm done talking about this. I talked way too long about that. I didn't mean to, but yeah, big stuff though. I mean, you gotta bring it up, even though it's not good stuff. You gotta bring it up. Just going off the same thing with like the body cam footage and stuff. I gotta just say this: one of the most cringeworthy things to watch on the internet are police confrontation videos. And I'm not talking about like shootouts and things like that. I'm literally just talking about regular traffic stops where they pull somebody over and then the person just immediately becomes confrontational. Like when they come up and they're like, "Can I see your license and registration?" And they're immediately like, "I don't answer questions." Or like, "Why? What did I do?" And there's like, "I just need to see your license and registration." Like they don't comply. Immediately confrontational, immediately not complying. That's the quickest way to get yourself in trouble, dummy. First of all, if you're willing to not comply, you're probably fucked up. And you probably know you did something wrong. Or you're afraid of getting caught for something else you did. That's the only reason you would be confrontational. The other thing is the idea of people, just because of all the, the bad press that the police have gotten, to be like, "You're a fucking racist." Like, those are the worst too, is when they're like, "I'm not going to give my information to a racist." You've never even met this fucking dude. The best part is when it's a black cop and they say that shit. But it's like, they're the worst videos to watch. They're the most cringeworthy. And I just thought of that because of the body cam footage thing. I see them pop up from time to time, and I'm just like, I can't even finish them because they're just so hard to watch. Like, just comply. The best way to get through a traffic stop is to comply. I've known people who have been pulled over, like, while they were, or like without, with expired tags, or maybe their headlight was out or something like that. All you do is comply. You just be respectful. You do what you're asked. And unless you got something to hide, that's the only reason that you would be a dick or be an idiot. You comply, and guess what? Everything goes smoothly. That's all I got to say about that. Yes, another thing that happened recently. Tekashi 6ix9ine got jumped in, of all places, the locker room of a 24-hour fitness. Now, first things first, why the hell is Tekashi 6ix9ine working out at a 24-hour fitness? He's got so many connections, or it was an LA Fitness, something like that. It was some bullshit ass gym. He's got so many connections and so much money. Why would he not already just have his own gym? But why wouldn't he go to like a private gym? He's going to go to some dumpy ass fucking gym. That's number one. Two, the guy walks around with like 20 bodyguards. Who fucked up? Who let him? This raises suspicion to me as to perhaps this was a staged thing. But he was hospitalized, so I don't. And it from the looks of it, he really got fucked up. I don't know that he necessarily staged this. So that goes back to the other question: where the fuck are your bodyguards, bro? You didn't have one with you? This is a guy who I'm surprised it took this long. Because he's had a target on his back since he ratted out those dudes, or ratted out that group, or whatever it was that he ratted out. He's had a target on his back for that. So you'd think this would have happened a long time ago. But he must have let his guard down. Got his ass kicked at a 24-hour fitness. And another cringy thing is when people film shit like that. Like when people film other people getting beat up. That fucking pisses me off so bad. Because I'm like, help the guy, or at least get involved and be like, hey, stop. But instead you're like, oh shit, world star, bro. It's the most irritating thing to know that somebody is standing there, could intervene in what's happening, but instead chooses to document it like they're fucking CNN. Cunt News Network. And so, but yeah, so 6ix9ine got his ass kicked. Now, another thing I want to say about this, jumping somebody might be the biggest bitch move of all time. Like, if you're bigger than the guy and you're going to square up and go one-on-one, I respect that more, even though you're the bigger guy, than jumping somebody, dude. Anybody who jumps somebody, like any group that jumps somebody, are automatically pussies. Take that. I've never been jumped. I've never jumped anybody. I've known people who have been jumped, and those people who jumped them are pussies. Okay? It's a bitch move. You're a coward if you do it. And that's the bottom line. Like, you're a fucking coward. You can't fight somebody one-on-one. So you get you and your buddies to gang up on somebody, stomping somebody while they're down. It's just a coward move. Now, then there's the group of people that say, well, he got what he deserved. Oh, man. Hang on. How long has that been there? Yeah, there we go. But those people that are like, he got what he deserved. Nah, man. Fuck that. Like, I get it. Snitches get stitches. Who are you? Like, you tell me. If you were sitting on that stand and you were looking at 25 to life, or whatever the fuck he was looking at, 10, 20 years, or you rat out these criminals, I might add. He ratted out a bunch of other criminals, so you wish they were still out and about? I mean, I'm fucking snitching right away. I'm like, here's this guy and this guy and this guy. Yeah, I might get killed, but it beats fucking jail. Snitches get stitches. I mean, I get there's a culture or like a group and there's like a whole mentality behind that. Not to me. I'm snitching on your ass right away if I'm looking down the barrel of 15 years. I'm snitching your ass out. And you can take that however you want. Maybe that automatically puts a target on my back. Come jump me, motherfucker. You'd be a fucking bitch if you did. Now, with all this tragedy and all the craziness in the world, we got wars, we got shootings, we got fucking we got fucking chemical spills, we got all kinds of just madness going on. It always helps to have something a little fun to watch in the news. Now, last year, we had the glory that was the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial. Sometimes we just need a trial. We need a trial among celebrities to just bring us back and first of all, make us realize that celebrities are, in fact, humans as well. Celebrities get in trouble, and we can air their lives out in a court setting. But also, not just that. It takes us away from the tragedies of the world. I mean, OJ was a tragedy in and of itself. Michael Jackson was a tragedy in and of itself. But god damn it all, if Amber Heard and Johnny Depp wasn't just a nice breath of fresh air. Well, 2023 gives us Gwyneth Paltrow. If you haven't kept up on the Gwyneth Paltrow trial, you're in for a treat. It's pretty fucking bizarre. So, this happened like 5 years ago or something like that. This guy is suing Gwyneth Paltrow. Now, this has definitely not been as entertaining as the Johnny Depp trial. I've not been keeping up tabs. So excuse me if my details are incorrect about this. I'm just repeating what I heard. What I Amber heard. So, this guy, they were skiing, okay? This was on a skiing trip. Gwyneth Paltrow apparently ran into this guy, causing him injuries of some sort to where he couldn't... So... Not only to where he could not, he was a retired guy already. He was an older guy. His wife divorced him because of these injuries, and he became a abusive father. He became a verbally and mentally, emotionally abusive father to his child or children. The reason that's important is Gwyneth Paltrow had his daughter come up as her witness to say that he was a fucking piece of shit before the accident. So dude was trying to use the excuse of him getting hurt in this ski accident for being a piece of shit father when he already was one. And that was his defense. Or his offense, I guess. Gwyneth Paltrow is countersuing for like nothing, just as like a point. She's just trying to make a point, I guess. She claims he hit her, and in her claim says it was sexual assault. So this thing just gets weirder and weirder. Then they also have like they said that this guy couldn't like do his like daily activities, or like he couldn't travel and couldn't do like other things in his life. And they have all these photos of him like in other countries and jet skiing and doing all this stuff in other countries and stuff. It's like, so he has been doing this. This is like a huge farce essentially. But it's hilarious that it's again another celebrity trial that's just like on like for the public to see, I guess. It's on video for the public to see. Also, oh yeah, here's another weird twist to this. The dude's lawyer is like fangirling out for Gwyneth Paltrow. She was like praising her for her height and like saying, she was asking her like if she knew Taylor Swift, and like it was so bizarre. Like I might even have to go back and watch some of this shit. But these are all the details that I've heard, and it's very weird. It's no Johnny Depp, but it's something to keep our minds busy, I guess. And then you can go and you can just go onto Gwyneth Paltrow's website and buy a candle that smells like her pussy. So that's a thing too. Gwyneth Paltrow in and of itself is an interesting story. You put her in a trial, it becomes even more interesting. No joke, Gwyneth Paltrow sells candles that apparently smell like her coochie. That's something, I guess. Pepper Potts is out here selling pussy candles. What's going on? What's going on with that? Can we just talk about that for a second? I want that to be brought up in the trial. How much are your pussy candles? Where can I get one of those? Can I smell your pussy now? Just to compare? Jesus. What the fuck is this world? What do we live in? And people think that this couldn't be a simulation. Some of the most bizarre shit. Unexplainable. Other celebrity news. I guess I'm just going to talk shootings and celebrities today. My boy, Adam Sandler got awarded the Mark Twain prize for comedy. It's like the biggest award you can get as a comedian. I know Dave Chappelle got it a couple years ago, and I don't know who's gotten it in years past. I know Richard Pryor's gotten it. I think Steve Martin's gotten it. I'd have to look at the list, but such an awesome thing to get the recognition. Adam Sandler, I've been a fan of Adam Sandler forever. One of my guys. I've always defended him as one of the greatest. He's an acquired taste, and I get that why people might not like his stuff. The comparisons are always like him or Jim Carrey or Will Ferrell, Ben Stiller, guys like that who are in multiple comedy movies. And for some reason, man, I've always just connected to Adam Sandler's movies the most. They're the most outrageously funny, I guess. And then there's eras of Adam Sandler too. You got like the old school era with like Waterboy, Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, Big Daddy. You got the middle era with like Anger Management, Click, Mr. Deeds. And then you got the later era, which kind of is where it gets a little meh. With like, what are some of his like real big flops? Like The Ridiculous Six or Jack and Jill. But then there's some good ones. Like a lot of people shit on Grown Ups. I really liked Grown Ups. I liked the second one too. The second one was a little more absurd, but I liked those movies. I thought they were fun. Bedtime Stories was pretty fun. He did the Hotel Transylvania thing. That's a big hit. So he's had good shit. Obviously, Uncut Gems. A movie, if you don't know about it, if you thought Uncut Gems was good, you need to go watch Reign Over Me. That's another, like, serious role he took. You need to check that movie out because it is fantastic. It truly highlights what a great actor, like serious actor he can be. So, yeah, you get the stages of Adam Sandler. But the late stage, while it was, like, there's been some bad ones in there, there's been some pretty good ones, too, if you ask me. I thought Just Go With It was a good one. I thought Hubie Halloween was fun. Very outrageous, but fun. And so he's I mean, God, this will blow your fucking mind. Would you believe me if I told you he might be the wealthiest actor in Hollywood. I'm trying to think of who might be bigger. The dude's I don't want to speak out of turn, but I'm almost positive Adam Sandler is a billionaire. He produces all of his movies, so he owns the rights to all of his movies. He makes bigger on the back half of all those movies. He stars in the movies. Plus, he has other movies he's not even in. He did like Grandma's Boy and the Benchwarmers and movies like that. Animal. Like he's produced other movies that aren't his own. God, I wish I knew. I'm almost positive he's up there as one of the all-time. He might. I'm pretty sure as far as celebrities go, this goes for athletes, musicians, all of it. I think he's in the top 10 of richest celebrities. So, well, like he's done something right. Plus, you go back to the fucking SNL days. Like he was in a ton of bangers in SNL. He was during one of the golden eras of SNL with Chris Farley and David Spade and Mike Myers, Chris Rock. So the dude earned his way. And I just want to give my flowers to the boy Adam Sandler for winning the Mark Twain Award. Coming off the year that I was just Little Nicky for Halloween, that's pretty awesome. You know my devotion to Adam Sandler. I've talked about it before. So I just wanted to give my flowers to the boy. Good old Adam Sandler fucking taking it home. Getting the pride, getting the recognition he so rightfully deserves, in my opinion. So just wanted to point that out. Now, we did start on a bit of a rough note, a sour note, talking about the tragedy. So I want to end it on a good note. I want to talk about some good shit. And I thought we had a little funny talks there with like the Gwyneth Paltrow and 6ix9ine, stuff like that. But I just want to speak from my heart and get away from the celebrity talk and get away from the pop culture and the current event stuff. One thing that I've noticed that I truly enjoy, like I truly get joy out of, is just honestly nice people. Like you go places and you expect people, you'd often run into people who are just having a bad day, being jerks, very rude, not polite. I'm not saying this is a regular occurrence, but it's an occurrence. And in a lot of cases, you almost expect it from people. But when you get somebody who's just genuinely nice, somebody who just genuinely is in a good mood or is just being polite or, and I'm talking about random strangers out in the wild. When you run into somebody like that, it's just such a day maker. Like it really does brighten your spirit and it makes you want to be a good person and be nice. Just a quick example. There was this was a couple weeks ago because I haven't been eating fast food. I was going through the Burger King drive-thru. I was getting some breakfast. Went through the Burger King drive-thru and pulled up to the window. I'm halfway expecting the guy on the other end of the window to be kind of in a piss poor mood. I mean, he's working at Burger King. Things can't be going all that great. You know what I'm saying? He's a middle-aged guy. So I'm like, this guy could just fucking hate his job, hate his life, and project that onto me or project that onto the world. No, this dude was in such a good mood. He was such a nice guy. Just had a smile. Very polite. I love that. Like, it really made my morning. I was like, damn, that was a nice guy. Now, does 90% of the people that work at a Burger King look like a heroin addict? Yes. Do they look like crackheads or like they've just gotten out of jail? Yes. Those people can be happy too, okay? So, not taking anything away from that, just saying. Most people that work at a Burger King look like crackheads, and that's okay, as long as they're happy. As long as they're smiling with their 6 teeth, it makes me happy. And it truly did. It truly put me in a good mood. So seeing people who are happy and enjoying life and projecting happiness, it's true. When you smile at somebody, it makes you smile. When you're around people who are just having a pissy mood or like being a dickhead, it makes you feel bad. It truly is like a a whole thing. So it's nice to see people who are happy. The other thing I want to say too, and this is something that kind of it might be weird. It might come off as weird, but it's not to me. Something I get great joy out of, I truly do, is watching other people enjoy things. You know? Like, there's something about, like, if you watch somebody who's, like, eating an ice cream cone, now this is why it might seem creepy, but if you watch somebody just, like, really enjoying an ice cream cone, like, if I'm driving by and I see somebody just sitting down at a bench or just walking by and they're eating their ice cream cone and they're just loving life, like, who doesn't love an ice cream cone? It's like watching somebody enjoy something. Whether it's watching a show that they really enjoy, watching sports, listening to music, being on stage and you can tell the person up there is just loving it. But even if it just comes back down to that ice cream cone, somebody somebody just looking at an ice cream cone and being like, yes, life is good. Like, I love this. This is going to taste good. This is going to make me happy. Like, I love it. That is pure joy. And just seeing that on somebody's face and just knowing that they're in a good spot at that moment in time, knowing that they're enjoying something or that they're like enjoying an experience of some kind, that in it of itself makes me feel good and it gives me joy. So I don't know why that came to mind, but it's just one of those things. Like, when you see somebody enjoying something, it radiates that joy and it makes you feel good too. So that's where it's at. And that's all I got to say. I'm going to end it there. I hope you guys have a great week. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, prayers to the families that were devastated in that tragedy. Huge salute to those officers who served and protected that community that day, and unfortunately weren't able to save everybody, but perhaps saved more or saved others. But what else? What else did we talk about? We talked a lot about celebrities. I hope Gwyneth Paltrow, I hope she sends me a pussy candle. Like, I don't want it though. Like, God, I don't even want to know. Gwyneth Paltrow might be one of the most, like, I can't tell if she's attractive or not celebrities. She's like the absolute 5. She's like the most 5 celebrity. Like, she's not ugly, but she's also not hot. Yeah. So that's a big no on the pussy candle. But go out there, enjoy life, spread joy, be cheerful to others, spread the joy, enjoy that ice cream cone, just lap it up, enjoy life. Go Nuggets, go Avalanche, and check us out. Check the band out, Cutthroat. April 20th at Andy's. We will see you down there. More big news to come. I will share that later, but we'll see you down at Andy's. And of course, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. But most importantly, don't forget, life's a garden. Dig it. Just gotta keep on.